Hello, greetings everyone. Welcome again in Serenity Healing Center, where all changes are possible. I am Dorota, and I am thrilled to be here with you today, to be your host. And we're diving in today into this world of spiritual connection where we alchemize, or she does, Sabina, alchemizing our thoughts and impressions and spiritual connection with universe into beautiful art. So warm welcome to Sabina, my friend and an artist. Sabina is Reiki master teacher, and I'm going to read this from my notes just because I can. She is natural wellness advocate, holistic healer, practitioner, writer, and artist. Did I miss anything? She's a mother.
Yes, mother,
the most important thing, right?
Right.
It's a huge job.
Right.
Huge job.
Human being.
Human being, yes. Spiritual being,
Right.
yes, a lot. So our first interview was in 2019, and it was about Sabina's new book, Awakening of the Soul. I wanted to read a passage from that book because I feel like it fits perfectly what we are doing here today together. So let's hope I don't choke on it. English is my second language. I do ask for forgiveness in advance.
Likewise.
So this is Sabina's book. For those who know her, you guys know about her books. For those who don't, you can always ask under video, ask questions, and we will provide more information. But here we go. I hope I don't butcher your art.
Oh, no, you won't.
When we live with passion, we live with clarity of what our goals are. Now we are sure of what we bring. When we live with passion, we live with purpose and a brave heart. Now we know our truth and stand strong with it. When we live with passion, we live with the desire to live. Now we create into life, bringing the creative force from within. When we live with passion, we live with joy because we are truly guided through spirit, living in the full potential of our I am presence. This is beautiful. I love this.
Thank you. I was wondering what you're going to read. It does resonate.
So, Sabina, do we live our passion? Do you live your passion?
That's a very, very good question. I thought about it, and whatever I wrote over there in the book, it was my realization of what passion is and how much needed it is. Because when I was going through the whole healing, I realized that I completely moved away from doing anything that gave me, pleasure, joy, anything. So once I opened that cage, because I also realized that I liked myself in the cage. It's not about the outside, and it's not about what people think and say. It's all about it's about us. So I allowed myself to came out of the cage and started bringing a little bit of those things into my life. And art is definitely my passion. It always was since I was born. I along the way somehow forgot about it. So I am learning, how to do that passion. It's not something that I was doing for all of my life. So I am making sure that it's there. And I think that's why it's so important for everybody, not, that if you don't do art, whatever it is that you do, cooking, going for walks, like you do go for walks, anything. There's just so many
Singing,
things.
right? Dancing, whatever
Right.
brings you joy.
Anything that gives you joy, we have to have it. That's when we feed our body, we feed our spirit, we bring that energy in, and we feel alive. Otherwise, if we're just here doing the work, going to work and kind of becoming those slaves, then we're slowly losing that energy, that force, that movement, and and it's going to go downward. So I am definitely bringing in passions into my life and making them a priority. It's not easy. There's a lot of blocks that we got to move through when we're doing that. But yeah, I will say I am living my passions and I'm making them be here.
That's beautiful. I love it. So what happened after that book? Was there any more books?
Well, I mean, I always thought about more books. I didn't get there yet. I would say I was just constantly working on implementing whatever I said in a book because, you know, there's cycles. We have realizations, but there's something else comes and we're just working through it, working through it, working through it. The next book, if it comes to be, it will be about healing of the inner woman, you know, just being a woman, being a wife in a family setting, being a mom, and seeing how when we do inner work, how that affects everybody around us, because now we're not coming from the victim place, but we're coming from a place of center. You know, it really shifts everything. So maybe one day I'll go and sit and do that, but for now it's art.
Yeah, I never got to writing a book. I started writing a book and then I taught, and that doesn't feel fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I do write poems, so maybe I just put them all together in one little booklet and do the same thing. Who
I
knows?
think you should. I think you should. That's passion.
Yes. Well, that's definitely release of what comes from within, spilling it out in this way.
Right.
So take us back to your first announced painting. What happened? How it happened? And what was it? Where was your great beginning?
My beginning, I will have to say that, well, I mean, I know I always been an artist in my soul. I think my mom kind of put me on the track though, because I remember when I was little, she would take those little teeny tiny notebooks and she had crayons and she would make these bunnies, very colorful bunnies with this like sunset background. And I was just amazed how beautiful that was. And I always wanted to recreate what she was doing. But art has always been there. I always were drawing. I remember teachers, you know, they were very supportive and they would send my work to different contests. And I would, you know, get prizes here and there, but I don't think I really believed in myself at that time to do anything with it professionally. It was more of a self, like you said, self-release, self-expression. It was more of my therapy for myself and just trying to get away from everyday life. I would sit down and, you know, draw things, and sometimes I laugh today seeing where I am today and where I was back then, because I kept some of those pictures and it were black and white pieces. I use charcoal, I use, you know, I'm not crayons, but candy crayons. And I was just fascinated with the contrast between black and white. But I was black and white, you know, I was in all of those.
Tracing yourself between colors.
Right. I was not wearing any colors. I was not drawing colors. So it's funny how I see it, but you know, I mean, if I was a kid, or if I had a kid who drew the things that I drew when I was younger, I would definitely have a conversation with myself and with the child. You know what I mean? Because you can tell. I mean, that's why art is amazing. I think it's a great therapy. You can really tell where a person is when they bring out whatever they hold inside, and so that was my art. Then when I guess worked through certain things, I decided, okay, let's do color. And I remember, okay, I'm gonna get some paints. I bought some paints and brushes, and they were probably for 3 years underneath my bed. Because I realized that I have a huge block, and it's interesting. It's, you know, it's still art, it's still self-expression, but for some reason when it came to the paints, oh my goodness, I didn't really know how to get there, how to approach it. I really, at that moment, I wasn't doing any Reiki practicing or, you know, any of that stuff. So I really wasn't aware where it was coming from. But to approach the easel and take the stuff out and start painting was so hard. It was like painful. It was painful inside because I love doing it, but
Why do you think it was?
well, like
Was it like a fear of being judged, or was it,
it
why
was,
was that?
yeah, later on in life, I realized what it was, and I met somebody who was involved in this. This is a whole another topic, but I learned that I was betrayed with art. So putting my work out there with paints was kind of like, what if it's going to be taken away? You know? So that was what happened. And it took me a long time. I actually, I at a certain time in life, I got to this place of realizing what it is, what needs to be done. And I decided that I gotta heal that part of me because it's literally killing me inside because I really want to do painting. So I was working with it, and and it's things happen in life, but we are the ones who gotta push through those boundaries and those fears. And yeah, and I just slowly started working with paints and became color again.
How wonderful. Look at that. All the
Yes.
beautiful things behind you, the beautiful art behind you, and the lion that I actually have hanging on my wall in front of me.
Mhm.
So what was your first art?
My
What was the
first
first
piece,
creation?
my first piece was probably inspired, my paint piece was inspired during my awakening time. I think it was a meditation. I have it with me actually. I'll show you. It was I named it Celestial Tree. It looks a
Oh,
little different than what I do now,
beautiful.
but it's I guess when I became aware of how everything is connected, how the
Mhm.
tree and its roots, and how the roots connect with the crystals, and how we are crystals, and how that connects to the
I
great
can
cloud.
definitely see you entering into colors there. There is still black and white in there, but there is colors peeking through. So
Yes.
evolution.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
Thank
So
you.
um you already said that or we already mentioned that things that are coming from within are being poured into a physical life, physical realm as art, as books, as poems. So, how did it happen? What happened next? How did you start painting all these beautiful pieces that are right now behind you? Maybe you can pick one, your favorite one, if you have it around, and just talk about that, how it happened.
It's kind of hard to pick a favorite one because they're all personal
Very
connections,
special.
relationships. They're all different. But I guess, once entering the healing journey and doing meditations and all of that stuff, you're able to tap into those visuals through your third eye. And
Your inner
sometimes
vision.
like, for instance, the lion is an image that popped in during a meditation for the Lion's Gate. So he was kind of like all set. I knew what I'm gonna do. I knew how it's gonna look like. So that was that process. But many times I work, the canvas, I have like a conversation with the canvas. I start on a canvas, I just pour paints on, do whatever, and then I see what's coming through. And if I see an image popping out, I bring it out. So I never know what I want to do on it. I don't know what it's gonna look like at the end. Like this one, the lady here, her name is Winter Solstice. So I started painting her at winter solstice, and she kind of became what she is right now. The cat underneath, that was inspired by a session that I did for this younger girl who in her past was connected with the ancestors from Lyra. And
Mm.
this is what came up. So they're all different, but it's not about painting something that I see on the outside, it's something that I want to come through me. You know, it's just like meditative way of doing it.
Ooh, go for Lyrons.
Yay! You are
Say
right.
that. I
Wow.
had few friends.
Everywhere, actually. Look.
Right. Yes, they everywhere. Cats are
Mm.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they bring beautiful teachings. So I guess that, you know, that one of the things with my art is that I kind of call it an awakening art, because when you see it, I wanted to affect you, to awaken your senses, awaken your past, your cellular memory, you know, who you are connecting with, what you can do. It's just, it's like a teaching.
Yeah, I
And
can definitely tell your art is energized with something very special. When I received that copy of your art, The Lion, I was in the middle of um, taking 4 different classes. And the emotional release that I had with this one, I couldn't, like, it just left me speechless. It was so like finding that hand somewhere in a space, and you finally grabbed it and you have it, and there is a connection. And that was beautiful. So I'm definitely convinced that there is something more than just a paint on a canvas that looks beautiful. So I really appreciate you sharing this, and it's beautiful. That's basically who we are, right?
Right. Yeah, that gives me purpose. Thank you for sharing.
So
There's
yes.
I do have a Etsy page. I'm just gonna mention it right now because I don't want to forget. It's called Healing Arts by Sabina.etsy.com. So all the pieces that, not all of them, some of them are new, but most of them, they're placed over there, and each one has a description. So there's an intention behind each piece, like, you know, like with the lion, it's about
Yes.
the integrity, it's about the clarity, it's, you know, being crystal clear. So there's an intention that's written down on the page, and if anybody wants to visit that and just see what, you know, what the codes of the piece are, that's the place to go to.
Yes, and then there is a certain beauty of the power that it represents. It's the symbol of, I would say, male power, but the way it comes out, at least the cat for me, it's the feminine energy that comes out, that it's soft, that it's loving, but it's still very, very powerful. We intend to think about power, it's a muscle, it's a gun, or it's male, right? Because females are soft and they cry and they sew in their heart space all the time and seem so weak. When hear that love, that feminine energy with lots of warm love, is that power that creates.
Right.
So I love it. And on your on my left and your right, there's a beautiful art, beautiful piece. And I believe this one is the new one. Is it?
The, are you talking this?
Kitties, yes, of course, staying with kitties.
Yes, yes, it's the Black Panther magic. So
Mm.
this painting, I'm still working on it. It's about the illusion. It's about the, there's a fox that decided to come into the painting, so he brings in the topic of being tricked. So it's just me learning, you know, I mean, I paint, but through the painting I learn what the panther means, what the tricks, you know, what the trickster, what his teaching is like. It's kind of like a medicine animal car, you know, painting.
Yeah, beautiful.
So I'm still working on it, but it's
Message behind it is beautiful. Powerful walk, like I'm looking at it, right? Powerful Black Panther walking through, and then those illusions, just she's doing her thing, no
right,
matter what, right?
right. And you know, like, you know, being the color is black and being kind of in a black background, which
Mm.
we don't always see what's there, but there's beauty there. There's calmness there, you know, there's just
Wisdom.
right.
Yes.
So let's not be tricked by looking at something and seeing as a bad and scary, because there's always good things and, you know, wisdom and everything that's there. So that's the message.
Great. So how this living your passion and being an artist, being so spiritual in the same time, how did it form or create your family life? How did it impact your family life? How does it look like?
Art brings people together, right?
Right.
Um, yes, so that's actually one of the things that are really exciting for me, because for some reason my art is bringing everybody in my household together, and it seems like we are all moving in the same direction in some way. For instance, you know, I did a couple of shows this summer where we went for like art festivals, studying art, and my husband came with, and he's great at reading images. He translates images, he brings in that spiritual aspect. He's just really amazing at it. And I think even more than me. I mean, I paint, but he will stand there and he will tell you everything about it. So he was there with us and he was talking with all these people, and Naya, our daughter, was there too. And she knows my art because she sees it every day. She is actually involved in painting as well. We are working on some pieces together. She kind of starts, brings in an idea, and then I finish. I put layers on top of it because she doesn't have really the patience to, you know, to add layers on top, but she brings some amazing, I think I posted somewhere on Facebook this elephant with, you know, with this trunk that's, there's the fire flame with the trunk. It's just amazing. So it's really bringing us together, and I enjoys going with us to those events. It looks like we will be doing them together. And then our son, you know, he's behind the scenes. He's like, Mama, let's do Instagram, you know, let's do this.
Oh,
I can put you
IT,
with the
your little
camera. I know
IT.
he's my IT. So I absolutely love that. It's, you know, I did not expect this. And the beautiful thing is that everybody's coming from their own will, you know, it's their own heart that wants to be there. And it really, that's when things really work. There's no pressure, there's no, you know, you gotta, it's just, it comes naturally. It's amazing. So we're planning on doing a lot of events. I booked like 5 of them. They're not only art events, but they're also like holistic expos. So I will have other things, and we will be doing sessions and all that good stuff. So I'm excited. That's yeah, that's what's
That's
coming.
beautiful. It's amazing. It's no matter how many people in one space, each brings in their own flavor to the family. It's beautiful that you guys could do it together. I mean, I think in my family was more singing. My dad loved to sing. I love to dance. Not doing much of it anymore. I used to have big island in my kitchen in my old house in Chicago, and I would sing there just for fun.
I love dancing too, but it's gotta be a, you know, once you get on the spiritual journey, you gotta have a special dancing setting. It's not, it's different,
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
going around.
Yeah.
Just let it out. Let it out. Let it out. Be free, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how big is your collection today?
Uh, I think I have about 14 pieces that I'm working on and off. Some of them are finished, professionally photographed, and I have a place here locally that prints them on a Z-clay paper, which is like a museum grade paper, very high quality. It won't fade, they say, in more than 80 years. There's a certificate that comes with it that I provide. It's a eco-friendly bamboo cotton paper with special inks. So
Wow. You just go all the way. There's
I'm going all the way. I'm doing this how it's supposed to be done. You know, I want people to be satisfied. I mean, you saw the print, right?
yes, I have the print. It's
It's
beautiful.
amazing. You know,
Beautiful.
yeah, the people, they color match your work. They said it's a little bit hard with my stuff because of all the blue hues that I'm using.
Uh-huh.
So it takes them a little bit longer, but I mean, the paper is so velvety and it's so saturated and rich. I mean, to be honest, I think that this is my original lion over here, but I think the print looks better. I seriously do think the
It's
colors
more
are
blue, right?
amazing. Pardon me?
It's a little bit more in blue on a print.
Yes, it's yeah, it's a little bit more vivid. It's like
Mhm.
it's ocean blue, I would say. It's
Mhm.
amazing. I love it. I'm very happy with their work. So it's, very satisfactory. And then when you have the darks, they're just so velvety rich. I love it. So that paper
So,
really makes a difference.
yes, definitely does. So, one of the questions I have is about your plans for 2024, but you already shared a little bit of it. So, shall we move to the cherry on the top?
Yes, I think, let's see if we missed anything.
Yes, let's see.
I think we pretty much covered. You did wanted to ask me if my artwork is only canvases, and for now, pretty much it is. I wanted to explore more. I do have some pieces where I paint on wood, but I like the canvas because it has that texture and it brings
Yes, like
something.
more alive, right?
Right. I like that. And then depending how much paint you have on it, it can get more smoother or have that texture of the canvas. So I
Mhm.
like working on the canvases, but I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
Now it's
Um,
what it is.
Hey, the door is open, right?
Right.
2024 just begun. So we can create anything we want. We just have to
Right.
put our hearts and minds to it.
Yes.
So the cherry on the top. Sabina and I are putting our talents together and creating magic for you guys. Hopefully, right? Hopefully you take it as magic because for us is we
It's
live
a
in.
passion.
Yes, it's a passion. We live in totally different states. I used to live in Illinois. Now I'm in Texas, so it's far.
Mhm.
Um, but there is a lot of things besides Lyrons that connects us. We're just kind of
So
thinking the same um, route, taking the same path, not maybe not exactly, but in energetic way speaking and
right.
spiritual way speaking. So we have together came up with an idea to create a podcast, and we already have logo and we have a name for the podcast, and we're just gonna come to you guys and tell you how we do it, right?
Right.
You
And
want
talk
to talk
about
a little bit from your side?
well, yes, our idea is to, we've been on this journey for a while, and obviously everybody has their own way of doing it. And that's what we want to talk about. We want to bring in a little bit information about the tools that we're using, what Dorotka's doing, what helps her, what helps me to get through this shift, what is the shift and the consciousness. And I mean, there's just so many topics. We really enjoy our conversations and it's fun, and we think that bringing it to the people, because I remember, when I started off, I didn't really have anybody, and it's good to have somebody, even though sometimes it's not exactly what we will pick to do, but it's just having somebody there helping us realize and know, okay, so when you start this whole awakening journey, it gets kind of hard at moments, like,
Right.
and how do
Not
you
even
release that, right? Like, what do you use to release that? It's
right.
good stuff. So we're
Even
gonna have
even
fun.
even knowing, am I awake? Uh, what tells me that I'm awake? But
Yes,
scratching the head. Yeah.
right. Am I doing this right?
Yes.
And there's just so much of that
Yeah.
emotional stuff that we need to get rid of. That's not really unnecessary to have. So we're gonna be talking about all kinds of stuff.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be fun.
The 2023, I said, in one of my posts was like change, 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 and the changes that I did not expect or did not even thought about could happen, like relocating. That's huge. That's taking your whole life that you had in one space in 20 years and then moving, shifting it elsewhere. So the 2024, I'm bringing people in, at least now, for now. We'll see how it's going to work out throughout the year. But I wanted to bring people who showed me something, who helped me create a change. So yes, stay tuned for more on our podcast. I don't know if we want to share the name and logo today, but I'm thinking we're gonna leave it for a little bit later, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I hope you guys finding some inspiration in what we are showing you here today with Sabina and her art. Whatever it is that makes you happy, whatever it is that helps you go through the day and create and show who you are. Is it a poem? Is it a song? Is it the way you move? Is it the way you talk, the way you sing, the way you talk to people and the messages that you have? Do it. Start small. I mean, my first interview with Emma, my brother-in-law said, "Oh, you were nervous. Hopefully next time you won't be that nervous." I hope I did better, Mariusz.
You did awesome. It's, you know, it's about breaking those barriers, right? You know, you have a passion, you want to do it, but it's not always easy. But that's exactly when you love something and you feel that there's a black between you and that's exactly what you need to do, because
yeah, just jump in it.
That's the important thing. You gotta do it step by step, you know.
Yes.
It's magic.
Ivan, so see you next time. I have 2 more interviews scheduled for you guys. So hopefully each one brings something special, something for the body, something for the mind, and something for the soul, and uniting your whole complete being and allowing that passion from within to pour out into the world. We need happy changes. We need people who are not afraid to come and to make those changes in their life and show, this is who I am. This is me. And where I was and where I'm at happened before I choose to make the change. Be the change and then create a change around. So thank you so much for being with us. Thank you, Sabina, for joining. And thank you for being so nice friend and working with me. I so love it. I'm so excited to see what we come up with together. So see you next time.
Wonderful.